My name is Delphine Olivaci, and I am a graduate nursing student at the University of Texas at Arlington. Here with me today is Ms. Cereese Lewis-Smith, the Administrator of Nursing at Snyder Regional Medical Center on St. Thomas. Ms. Lewis is also an expert in collective bargaining. She is the past chair of the collective bargaining unit of the Virgin Islands State Nurses Association. Welcome, Ms. Lewis.
Thank you.
Well, Ms. Lewis, I would like to ask you, Lewis-Smith, I apologize. I would like to ask you some questions concerning collective bargaining, nursing, and the healthcare environment. Can you briefly describe for us exactly what collective bargaining is and the pros and cons of collective bargaining in healthcare today?
Collective bargaining, as it is in most states nationally, is where a group of nurses get together and they negotiate for terms and agreement that they would like to work on with the healthcare organization, whether it be hospital, healthcare setting, outpatient settings, that they would like to work on. Here in the territory, all the nurses who work for the government of the United States Virgin Islands in a hospital and health settings are unionized members.
And in your professional opinion, there must be a reason that nurses feel that they need to belong or work in a union facility. So what do you think are the three primary labor issues that lead nurses to join for the purpose of collective bargaining?
Just like it is nationally, here in the territories, the three major issues that I think are nurse-to-patient ratios, of course, salaries, and and it includes many of the other issues that nurses negotiate for nationally. And some of the pros and cons of being in a union. The pros is that because you have that support when you have any issues or any violations that are not agreeable issues that have been negotiated between the employer and the unionized members. It helps them to have a united front when they're posing their issues or proposing their issues. Cons is that a lot of the union agreements are very stringent, so it limits. Thank you. It limits what the nurses can do as professionals, and as nurses, there are many things that we can and cannot do.
Now, you're in a very unique role that I personally admire in that you transition from the role of a staff nurse into the role of a nurse administrator. And there must be some differences that you realize in your role as the chair of the collective bargaining unit where you negotiated for the rank and file of your union versus your role as a nurse administrator. And as a nurse administrator, you are not associated with the union. So can you tell us how that difference in role, how working in a collective bargaining environment affects your role as a nurse administrator?
That's a very good question. As a staff nurse and as the previous chair of the union, you're not so much focused on why the hospital does what the hospital has to do in terms of its bottom line. You're really focused on what the nurses can get as a whole. Although that the nurses are focused on patient safety and the safe delivery of healthcare, their focus is totally different from that of administrators of a healthcare organization. As an administrator, now as an administrator of nursing, you have a greater understanding and respect for why you have to account for everything you do as a staff nurse on the floor. You understand why it's important to charge the patient for every item that you use. As nurses, we have to be able to think of the bigger picture and not just, I came in to do what I have to do today and I'm leaving the rest and I'll come back another day. We have to step outside of that box and have a greater understanding for what else it encompasses to run a healthcare organization, because as we know, healthcare is no longer just the delivery of healthcare. It has changed from healthcare delivery to a business many, many, many years ago. So once you have a greater understanding and a respect for that, I think unionized members and nurses as a whole, unionized members, nurses, and healthcare administrators can work more collectively for the better good of the patient.
One thing that I noticed that is of interest to me is, that the vice president-elect for the Republican Party is from the state of Wisconsin. And the state of Wisconsin has had a lot of struggles in the government with the collective bargaining unions. And so that brings to the forefront again collective bargaining and unions. And so I was wondering what you think the potential impact will be on collective bargaining at the local, state, and federal levels on the future of nursing.
Again, it's important for the local, federal, and state agencies to have or understand on the impact that they have on each other in terms of the delivery of health care. We have to be able to hear what each other has to say in terms of the delivery of safe patient handling and delivery of the patients that we're committed to serve on a daily basis. And just to continue to work more collectively as a team to deliver health care for the patients that we're committed to serve.
And lastly, I appreciate your time. I have one last question, and that is, as a nurse administrator, this video will be posted, as we discussed, to YouTube. The entire University of Texas student campus and people from all over the world will have an opportunity to see this video. And you will have this opportunity to share your personal viewpoints on anything of interest or what you feel would be some valuable information that you would like to impart to future and aspiring nurse administrators.
Certainly. Nursing is not just about the delivery of health care. You have to have an understanding of labor law if you're going to be involved with, working with nurses who are employees of an organization who are union members. Nursing is also about finances. Nursing is also about, having the patient involved in their health care or with the patient care modules that we have evolving now in the arena of healthcare. So to encourage somebody when you're going through that transition from a staff nurse to that of an administrator of nursing or any healthcare setting, it's important that you be able to step outside of the box and understand the total realm of healthcare delivery from the front door to the back door, and not just understand one small aspect, because nursing and the delivery of healthcare is so vast.
Well, thank you. And once again, I want to thank Ms. Smith for all this valuable information she has shared with us. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
And as soon as we get it posted, I'll send you the link.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.